This is the third video in the series 5-Minute Maths. As before, I'll take a typical test question and, through pictures, try to get to the heart of the mathematical idea that lies behind it. And the topic this time is squares and square roots. So, here's the question. A square has an area of 64 square meters. What is the length of each side? And the options are 4 meters, 8 meters, 12 meters and 16 meters. Well, let's imagine that each of these square meters is represented by a red disc. So here are 64 of them, and we're told that they form a square. So let's see if I can rearrange these dots to make a square shape. At the moment there are 10 in each row and the shape is not square. Let me reduce the row length to say 9. Clearly that isn't giving us a square either. What if I reduced the row length to 8? And indeed we now do have a square. It's 8 units wide and 8 units tall. And this gives the answer to the question. You can arrange 64 things into a square shape if the length of each side is 8, and that's option B. Here's another example. I'll return the row length to 10, and this time I'll start with, say, 49 discs. And as before, I'll start reducing the row lengths and try to make a square. There's a row length of 10, 9, still not a square, 8, still not a square. But with 7 it is. You can see that a 7 by 7 square contains 49 discs. Of course, these numbers 64 and 49 have been carefully chosen so that they do produce a square shape. This is because they are what's known as square numbers. If I choose something like, say, 55 discs, and I'll return the row length once more to 10, and I'll try to rearrange them, you'll see that whatever row length I try, I can never make it into a square. I can produce a rectangular shape like this 11 by 5 rectangle, but that's a different story. So how could you tackle the same problem but without the software to hand? The question being asked boils down to the following. What number times itself gives 64? And the mathematical word for such a number is square root, and its mathematical symbol looks like this tick. So I need to find the square root of 64, and the positive square root of 64 is the number 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. By the way, the reason that I said positive square root is that there's another number which times itself gives 64, and that's the number minus 8. Something I'll be looking at later in another video is that when two numbers that are minus are multiplied together, the answer is a plus. So there are actually two square roots of 64, 8 and minus 8.